Arroyo. On December 7th, 2017, you had planned a special night for the two of us. I was to come over to your place after school. We were to make a side dish together to bring to Citigroup, and afterwards, as a surprise, you were going to walk me under the Christmas lights surrounding Clear Creek in Golden with warm vanilla steamers in our hands. But that actually did not happen on December 7th, 2017. Instead, I came over to your house after school with a pile of essays to be graded by the following morning. With your impeccable observation skills, you quickly realized that the special night you had planned should not happen that night. It was such a change of plans. I don't think you knew how much more special that night would actually become for me, because that was the night I knew I wanted to marry you. I'm sure you can picture it now. We arrived back to your place after Citigroup, and you decided you would sacrifice your plans that night and your precious sleep to keep me company all night long as I graded those essays. What actually took place that night was one of the first of many glimpses of Jesus Christ I saw in you bear. Throughout my life, the gospel has built me up. The truth that the God of the universe and his son Jesus cared so much for me and the millions of lives around me that Jesus willingly sacrificed his life has filled me with deep worth and value. Because what greater love is there than a love that is willing to lay its life down for a friend? From that night forward, I have known that you would exemplify the husband that my mom just moments ago read of in Ephesians 5, a husband who would love me like Christ, a husband who would be willing to give himself up for me. From that night forward, I have consistently experienced that same deep worth and value that your selfless love communicates when I merely look into your warm eyes, when they are looking at me, when I watch your hands find ways to serve me daily, and when I heard the raw vulnerability in your voice that day you got down on one knee and told me you wanted to choose to selflessly and humbly love me forever. From December 7th, 2017, never before have I been so inspired to love someone in return so selflessly and sacrificially. And that is what I want to vow to you today. Ted Arroyo, I vow to love you selflessly for the rest of my life to the best of my ability. As I originally wrote that promise and as I speak it to you today, I realize its weight. There is no man more worthy of such than you, and because of this, I vow to daily seek the one who first loved you and me. Ted Arroyo, I vow to encourage and support whatever means you need to daily seek God first as well. I vow to honor, respect, submit to, and cherish your role as the head of our marriage that God has bestowed upon you, and am delighted to look to and always learn from your example and your leadership. I vow to constantly encourage the gifts God has given you, the passions you pursue, and the calling God places in front of you. I promise to never stop pursuing my glory self, or the best that God has in store for me in the years to come, and I promise to challenge you to pursue your glory self, so that as unique individuals and as one flesh, we can love and transform each other, our family, our friends, and those all around us. Ted Arroyo, I vow to speak out loud what I am thinking when we're in conflict, to not remain silent, and to not let the sun go down on my anger, but to always communicate that day. I vow to seek and provide forgiveness often, with Christ as my model. I long to always speak truth accompanied with both love and grace, so that I may edify you, not tear you down. I hope my kindness, with which you first fell in love with, only grows, and that my every action towards you is patient. Ted Arroyo, I vow to be your teammate for as long as I live. Wherever the Navy takes you, I will follow. I vow to stand firm by your side in every trial, every victory, and every circumstance. I promise to place my trust first and foremost in God and pray for his heavenly protection over you for whenever we are apart. I vow to make a home, create community, and to find a church family in every state or every country where we will reside. I promise to partner with you in ministry forever, to love your brotherhood as my own, and to reflect the gospel to them and their families to the best of my ability. Ted Arroyo, I promise to always cheer for the Broncos and finally forgive them for trading Tim Tebow in 2012. I vow to continue to uphold the promise that I will never watch The Bachelor, and I hope to keep to a minimum the times I burst out in Bruno Mars's or Michael Jackson's jams. I promise to hold the both of us accountable to exercising these bodies that God gave us so that we have banging booties for the rest of our lives, and I hope to allow rule breaking that does not bring any harm to yourself or others. Ted Arroyo, I vow to care for you and attend to your physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual needs through health, any sickness, or any injury. I vow to remain faithful emotionally, mentally, and physically to you alone. I stand in front of you today declaring that this covenantal union under God and in front of all our loved ones will prevail forever. I vow that no conflict or circumstance will break what God is binding together today. Ted Arroyo, you are the greatest man God could have ever given to me. I will never take for granted who He created you to be or the reality that you are choosing to be mine forever. I vow to love you selflessly like Christ, to reflect the worth and value He gives you, to let the love overflow, to affect everyone around us, to be willing to lay my life down for you, and to be Megan Evelyn June Arroyo, your teammate and wife for the rest of our days.
I now present to you Mr. and Mrs. Ted and Meg Arroyo.
Little Red. I'm going to start by reading from a journal entry I made on October 24th, 2017. This would be about a week and a half after our first coffee date. I think I've finally figured out what I'm looking for in a girl. I don't even know where to begin. There have been a select few traits that I've always found extremely attractive in a girl. For as long as I can remember, the pioneering trait I have looked for would be kindness. Genuine, heartfelt kindness towards those that have nothing to give or offer, the type of kindness that sticks out in a crowd. Now, there are other qualities I've always liked, but they're not necessarily make or breaks. Competitive nature, sense of humor, a love for God, and a note on that one, I've always wanted that to be a make or break, a love for God, but it really hasn't been one in the past. Actually, this is a great transition. I've recently learned of the most absolutely crucial make or break quality there could be in a girl. I've always known that the girl I ought to be looking for should love Jesus a lot, simply how I was raised, and it made sense. That being said, I'm not sure if I ever truly believed the significance of it. Well, that has changed as of very recently. No, I'm not about to declare my love and get all soft, so save the awes. Good grief. I don't even know who I'm writing this for. Mostly myself, I suppose. Ethan and Shayna Lang got married on October 12th, not too long ago. Thanks to my old beer league hockey teammate Bruce, I started a very brief conversation with his daughter, Meg Halloran. I am legitimately not entirely sure what it was that provoked me, but after that short conversation, I asked her to coffee. Meg's a total sweetheart, so of course she said yes. Fast forward a few days. It's Monday and we're getting coffee at Atlas, who by the way cannot make a pumpkin spice latte to save their own lives. big PSL guy. We've been on only one date, but I've learned an incredible lesson. That lesson is that there is not a single quality in a spouse more significant than a genuine, real adoration for our God, my King. I always knew it in the back of my mind, but I have now come to believe it. A woman that is completely sold out to our God is loyal, strong, hardworking, and kind to everyone, both friend and foe. She is patient and merciful, generous and faithful till the end. I'm not saying that I'm going to marry Meg, although I am certainly not saying the opposite, but she is living for the Lord more than any girl I've met in my entire life. If she's not the one, I certainly owe her a massive thank you because I've finally learned what I'm looking for. I'm picking up Meg for lunch this Thursday, so we'll see where it goes. That's the end of the journal entry. Meg Halloran, I have learned a whole lot about you since that first date. I've learned that you can pee your pants when you laugh too hard, that your favorite activity in the world is playing competitive volleyball with your best friends and family, and that you are a raging extrovert. I've also learned that your love for Chipotle might even rival your love for me. Really, if Chipotle pulled a Pinocchio and became a real boy, I think I would have some massive competition. I would have to kill Chipotle. Now back to the point. Red, I am challenged by you every day. You're quick to forgive, quick to extend grace, unwaveringly patient, and you trust in the Lord. You're also the kindest, most joyful person I have ever met in my entire life. Chris Ledoux, my favorite country artist, once wrote, "Talk is so cheap, anybody can say they're gonna give you endless love. Then turn their back and just walk away when the going gets a little rough. But when I took your hand and when I took these vows, I knew forever I'd be true." Megan, I vow to stay. When we no longer feel madly in love, when our fights cut us to the bone, when we change and grow into new people through the years, I vow to stay. When our disagreements cause us to distance ourselves from one another, I will practice humility in getting help rather than pridefully not saying a word. I vow to give it my all to love you like Christ. I will hold myself to the standard of Christ's love in that he sacrificed his entire life for those who hated him. When being selfless hurts, when it's not my turn to sacrifice my desires for yours, when being the first to forgive is the last thing I want to do, I vow to love you like Christ. I vow to protect you. I'll go to war for you spiritually by seeking our gracious God on your behalf. I will not slander you or put you down when I'm frustrated, and I will always be defensive of you. I'll also continue working out and practicing jujitsu so that I can choke out a grizzly bear if he ever sees you the way I see a ribeye. Megan, I vow to always appreciate you and never take you for granted. I will thank you for how you love and serve me. I will never look at you as an earned possession, but always as a cherished teammate. I vow to love you in all that I do. I will love you with my speech and with my action. I'll bring you flowers and write you notes to remind you of my love for you. I will come to you time and time again to ask your forgiveness when I get it wrong, and I will not expect you to get it right all the time as well. Megan, I will love you my whole life, you and no other.